What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this brand new 2024 Lexus TX350. This one is an all-wheel drive premium finished off in Nightfall Mica. MSRP is $63,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this SUV has to offer. So this is more of the standard trim, I would say. You can also get higher specs with the hybrid drivetrain to get even more power out of it. And then this one does have quite a lot of features. However, the luxury will have a few more goodies. So underneath the hood, this is going to have that 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbo engine pumping out 275 horsepower with 317 pound-feet of torque. It does have an 8-speed automatic transmission, of course paired to that all-wheel drive system, and then running on a 17.8 gallon fuel tank. You're looking at 20 miles per gallon in the city with 26 out on the highway. If we take a look at the styling, it's a pretty sharp looking family SUV. I like how muscular it looks, has really cool looking LED headlights. You can see how the daytime running light is, smoked out housing, and I like how this chrome trim piece kind of fades its way into that headlight. Really nice design with your Lexus logo, safety sensor. You have a forward camera, parking sensors, and then the hourglass shape is definitely a little bit different on this with all the body colored and the gray accents. Huge opening down below. LED fog light. I think it's pretty cool. It certainly looks like a Lexus, and yet it has kind of a more sporty design while being a bigger SUV. You have a nice design for the hood, and then at the side profile you can see the body colored fender flares. This also has a really cool set of 20-inch wheels, multi-spoke design with a two-tone color, few nice contours to it, contours in the lower portion of these doors as well. You're going to see body color on the door mirrors along with the chrome trim, LED light, and then your camera on the side. Then you have body color door handles. You have more of this chrome trim on the higher side of the windows with all black throughout the center. Nice set of roof rails with your panoramic roof. And then this part has been blacked out just to kind of blend all the glass. Side profile is pretty nice. It is definitely a bigger SUV. You can tell it is a full 3-row. However, it looks athletic, has a sporty vibe to it, and I really like the sharp line from the front, cutting down towards the doors, and then it fades away in back. You can also see nice sharp line for the rear fender, and then a massive LED taillight bar. Definitely fits very well to the design with Lexus right in the center. Got all your badging, a little bit of plastic trim back here with some body colored, and then all of your parking sensors as well. And you can see the integrated spoiler for the back of the roof. So it has a cool look, definitely looks like a modern SUV. Underneath the X, next to your backup camera, you're gonna have the button for the remote liftgate. And then with the third row up, you can tell there's still a lot of space. So this is certainly a useful SUV for the whole family. And you can still bring all sorts of goodies back here going on a long road trip. Opening this up, you got a little bit of hidden storage space. We have a privacy cover as well. And then there's two buttons here that you can press and actually lower the third row. So just by pressing them once, these are gonna automatically fold down and get nice and flat out of the way. So I think that is a nice touch. Now there's no buttons for the second row, those are gonna be all manual. However, nonetheless, you can see just how much more storage space you're now gonna have with that third row down. If we just press this button once, we can close the liftgate. And then entering the vehicle, this one has the new Lux interior. This is the synthetic leather material. If you opt for the luxury trim level, you will get genuine leather seating. So nice to see that available. And of course, higher trims are gonna give you the hybrid drivetrain, which will have a lot more power, closer to 400 horsepower. So on the door panel, you're gonna see this nice gray color, a little bit of padding. The release handles are pretty cool. They're actually a button. However, if needed, you can pull it out and manually open these doors. You have lock and unlock, also your window control, and the full Mark 11 audio system. You can open that up for a sunshade, and then on these seats you can pull that button, pop that forward, and then manually slide it out of the way. Now, these back seats, you can then also use the recline button and actually go ahead and press this and get these seats back in their up position. You have to hold these ones from this angle. If you were in back, you can just press them once. But nice to see at least you're able to easily pop these back up from this position. So once the seat is back up, you have a pretty good walkway to enter into the third row seating. And at 5'11", honestly, I sit back here pretty well. If I pull the seat back, this is actually a pretty good seating position. You have some amenities like nice armrests, storage, USB ports, air vents are up in the ceiling, and I actually have legroom with this seat slid all the way back. So definitely a nice design. You can also further recline these if needed. Lots of different positions for them. So definitely a pretty nice setup. Then of course you have this lever back here to manually do that, or you can just press the button up on top. So if we go ahead and take a look at the second row, if I just pull this back, lock it forward, you have your buttons down here. You can do the recline lever, and then number 2, you pull this and you can actually fold these nice and flat. And then from here, just lift it back up in the normal position. So climbing back here, you have a ton of legroom and footroom. Driver's seat is about at my height, and I have like 9 or 10 inches of space. So honestly, a really tall person could sit here and you'll be no issues. You do have climate controls all down below, USB ports, and then storage. More storage down below here. And then you can even slide the seats forwards and back. We also have your recline lever, of course, where you can recline these a good angle. You're gonna have armrests and cup holders as well. And then ample amount of headroom. I mean, just good space all around. You can genuinely sit back here on a long trip. I don't think there's a bad seat in the TX, honestly. This is a pretty roomy car. And then pressing that, let's go ahead and take a look at the driver's seat now. I like the door handles. You just press the button on the inside, and that is opening them up. So door panel, like you saw in back, all the same designs, materials, all your controls, of course. You have the 8-way power seats for both front seats, and then this new Lux material is ultra soft, really nice feeling. I like the perforations to them. I mean, this is a pretty nice place to be. Of course, you could get the semi-aniline genuine leather on the higher trim, which is cool to see. A little storage, power telescoping and operating steering column. And then hopping inside, start button is up here. Let's go ahead and fire it up. All the animations pop up. Got that full panoramic roof as well. For the gauge cluster, kind of typical what you would see on Lexus with your basic information. One thing really cool, hopefully you guys will see it on the heads-up display. These control buttons right here don't really show you what they do. However, when you start playing with them, hopefully the heads-up shows it. You have cruise control on these right ones, and then audio controls pop up on the left. So really nice. This is kind of integrated with that heads-up display. You have pages icon as well to see a few more things, which again is all going to be on the heads-up display. So from here you can actually toggle display as well as cruise control, and then on the left, if you can see it, you have audio and then phone. We also have a nice set of race inspired paddle shifters, some of this vinyl material on the airbag cover, stock on the right side for all the windshield wipers, and then headlights over on the left. We have memory seating, a few more controls up here for the interior lighting, one of your air vents, some smooth material for all this dashboard, and then more of this vinyl down below with some gray color. I like how the gray color kind of wraps around the dashboard as well. Moving to this 14-inch screen, you have full screen nav, all of your audio controls, phone integration as well. Tapping the car icon, you have all your different drive modes as well. You have seat controls, where you can fold all the rows down as well and raise the third row. Also, you have your heated and ventilated seat controls, heated steering wheel. You have a climate menu, you're able to see a few different things, and then you can also see a few more safety settings within the car. Back to this car icon, you have driver's assist, all-wheel drive you're able to take a look at, and then a few more settings all throughout. Climate controls are going to be all down here with fan speed, dual zone temperature, nice design for this bezel along with the colored screen, defrost icon as well as volume, and then pretty nice air vents down below. We have a shortcut to the camera along with 3 different USB ports. You have your wireless phone charging, a little bit of storage, and then these, you can actually unlock them and remove them. So if you want extra storage space, you're able to do that. For the gear selector, has a pretty cool pattern to it. If I go into reverse, we have a nice backup camera, and as you start going backwards or forwards, you can see how the top down actually tells you what is underneath the car. Now going into drive, the same thing happens going forward. So really cool tech on that. I think that's a really neat touch. You can also see guidelines, things like that. And going for your park button, we have traction control, a drive mode select right here, park and brake. You can also see the downhill assist, and then a lot of padding on this armrest. Opens up in 2 individual designs, which is a really cool way to do it. And then opening that up, you have a lot of storage. One last look at the interior. It's a nice place to be, honestly, and for the price, I feel like this is a gorgeous interior. I love all the light let in here. You have all those sunroof controls. You can even see sunglass holder, and then we have the rear view camera, which is a great touch. Garage door buttons underneath that, and then a nice size sun visors. All right, so setting off now in the Lexus TX. So some of the first things you're gonna notice, it's a really nice place to be, quite honestly. While this is the standard drivetrain, you know, it's nothing crazy performance focused like the higher trims with the hybrid, the F Sport. This is still pretty nice. With your drive modes, they're not really gonna make much of a difference. In eco mode to sport mode, I mean, it's maybe a little bit more aggressive, but hardly going to notice a difference. It's a pretty nice to drive car though. You're nice and high up, and for being a full-size 3-row, it doesn't feel too big, which is something I've really liked about this. You have a pretty wide hood and a really comfortable seating position. These seats are some of my favorite seats I've been in. I mean, just even the materials, while this is not the full real leather, of course that is in the next step up, these are super comfortable, super soft feeling too, and they're just incredibly supportive. I could see driving this for hours and hours, and it just supports your back so well. I mean, these are one of the most comfortable and supportive seats I've been in. I really, really like sitting in this car. As far as some of the things you touch, you do have some nice materials. Of course, the leather on the steering wheel. The armrests are extra padded, so it's really comfortable just to relax in here. Getting up to some speed, it gets the job done. I mean, it's not fast or anything. Obviously, there's higher trim levels you can get, but it's peppy enough. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's too slow. I like how there is a real transmission rather than a CVT. So it gets up to speed fine enough for just your typical family SUV. Visibility is really good. I mean, you have so much glass in this front area to see around. I love the camera for the rear view. That makes a huge difference. And over your left and right shoulders, honestly, not really any blind spots. It's really easy to see around. I like the feeling when you're in here too, like just, it kind of feels like a wraparound dashboard to where you feel just kind of at home in this SUV. It kind of cradles you a little bit. It just feels like driver centered, but more like, I don't know, front seat centered. It's a nice place to be. It's hard to explain, but I like the wraparound feeling. It just feels really well put together. It's a cool SUV to be in. Ride quality, it's pretty darn comfortable. We're on kind of a bumpy road. You can feel it a little bit. However, it drives really smooth. It's quiet. I mean, you don't hardly hear any wind noise or road noise or anything like that. The steering is nice and light as well. This is just an easy to drive family SUV. I think if you're looking for a full-size 3-row, maybe you're not looking for a Sequoia, you know, or something jumbo, this honestly gets the job done. And at the pricing, I don't feel like this is too expensive. I feel like it's a really good value. The whole TX lineup, honestly, is pretty well priced, I think. And you get a spacious car with some nice luxury refinements. While there isn't any real materials in this particular spec, of course you can get real leather seats in higher ones. Everything you touch and feel is pretty nice. And this one actually is a pre-production prototype. So this one even might not be as nice as what a factory car is gonna be. But even the materials you touch, I mean, the plastics look cool, the vinyl material looks nice. So it's a good, well laid out interior. And I certainly have been enjoying driving. I think the biggest thing you're gonna notice as a driver is just, it's so comfortable, plenty roomy. All the seats are a good seat in the TX. And it just drives really well. You get good efficiency with this drivetrain. I mean, this is just a good all-around luxury focused, reliable family SUV. I don't think you can really complain. I've been very much enjoying driving around, honestly. It's easy to drive, easy to maneuver. Camera system works great to park it. Honestly, it's just an easy vehicle that you can just enjoy driving, get the luxuries without paying $100,000 like you would on a BMW or maybe a Mercedes. So I feel like Lexus is giving you a sweet spot of, it is a luxury vehicle at the end of the day. It's super useful. However, you're not getting the downsides of being too big or too expensive. So kind of a sweet spot for a luxury focused family 3-row. I've definitely been enjoying it.